The Cordillera Mountains, majestic, ancient, and quietly bearing gold underneath. For centuries, gold has been the lifeblood of our people. But at what cost? Today, we're delving into the hidden world of small scale mining, a world of back-breaking labor, glittering fortunes, and a battle for the very soul of our land. Are we preserving a tradition, or are we slowly bleeding our mountains dry? To guide us through this complex landscape, we have Mr. Santi Bugnosen from the Mines and Geosciences Bureau, or MGB. Santi has witnessed the evolution of mining in our region for over 20 years. Welcome to a special episode of our Baguio Chronicle podcast. Today, we're going to talk about a special sector in our region. We're zeroing in on the mining industry and a very vital sector of the industry, which is small scale mining. Ang Cordillera kasi ay napaka-mineral rich, right? At ito po'y naging kabuhayan ng ating mga kababayan for the longest time. Over 100 years, Sir Santi?
Yep, supposedly.
Yeah, okay. So with us to help us understand the situation of our small-scale mining industry in the Cordillera region is somebody who has been with the MGB for the longest time. How many years, sir?
20 years.
20 years.
20 years.
So prior to that, you have also been with the private
Private
sector.
sectors, yeah.
Okay, so matagal na po si Mr. Bugnosen sa ating MGB, which is the government agency that regulates the mining industry. So, gandang araw, Mr. Santi. We call him Santi. We're very glad to have you here to help us understand kung ano na nga ang nangyayari sa ating small-scale mining sa ating region. Okay?
Yep. Good afternoon. Thanks, Lucy, for the invitation. And I'm glad to be here and share our perspective on this important sector. Yes, this is what is in mining.
Okay. So, to start the ball rolling, can you
Yeah.
provide an overview of the current state of small-scale mining in the Cordillera region? Specifically, how could you describe the situation in areas like Sagada and Luacan, Itogoy?
Mhm. Yep. As we all know, small scale mining in the region remains an economic activity considering the region's endowment with the rich mineral resources. Of course, we are rich in gold, silver, and copper. And practically, mining is secondary to the farming industry. Okay.
Mhm.
And we had seen and encountered a lot of operation in the region, and the process of formalizing this group remains a challenge to both our office, the MGB-CAR, and the concerned LGUs. Fortunately, as of today, the 7 provincial and city mining regulatory boards, which are the group which was mandated by law to regulate and oversee this sector, are already established in CAR, and these are actively functioning. Please note that as per the 1776, the PMR is under the direct supervision of the DNR Secretary. So, as an update, as of today, we are working on the Binangang Bayan. We have 13 declared Binangang Bayan in the region. This covers an aggregate area of around 1,016 hectares. And these are located within the provinces of Apayao. We have 6 MB areas. Benguet, followed by Benguet, we have 4. 1 each for the provinces of Abra, Kalinga, and Mountain Province. So far, Ifugao Province in Baguio City have no declared Binangang Bayan areas yet. Please note that these areas were declared by the board upon the clearance from the DNR Secretary. Most clearances, ang problema lang dito, most of these clearances, may provision that they have to undergo yung in-cycle process.
Okay, so
Yes,
it goes through FPIC, ano?
FPIC process,
Yeah,
yes.
FPIC. Because as alam po natin, marami po tayong ancestral lands within the region.
Yep. Also, as per record today, we have 16 petition Binangang Bayan areas in CAR that is being processed. I mean, ito yung ongoing in-apply na on pinaprocess pa.
So on top of the 7 that Or
13.
13
Yes.
that has already been approved? May mga
May ongoing
may
16.
mga naka-pipeline pa.
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. So of these 13 MB declared areas, for association had already acquired or they were awarded the SSM mining contract, meaning they can operate on this declared minang bayan. Isa dito is sa Benguet. Yun ang first na declared, that is Ligma. Followed,
yun?
yes, followed yung nasa Mountain Province, yung Sagada, then yung dalawa sa Apayao. As per record, we're expecting na may 4 na madi-declared within this month. This is located in Apayao.
Wow. It looks like Apayao has the most, ha?
Yep.
Itong SSM may mahaba ang history sa atin, ano? So, but you also mentioned that formalizing these are still challenging because of the presence of ancestral land issues also. So, ano yung challenge that is commonly shared by all the provincial or the city mining regulatory boards?
First, in the declaration, yung nasabi natin yan, since we're on the ancestral domain, the problem is yung how to get yung FIC process, yung free and prior consent. That's common for the lahat ng region except for Benguet. Yung Benguet, ang problema nila is they have to contend also with the large scale mining companies.
Right. Oo, kasi dito yata pinakamaraming mga mining operations ng large scale.
Yep. Ang problema talaga Benguet is since it was covered by earlier by being operated by the large scale mining companies, there's a provision that they have to pag nag-overlap yung area na inapayan nila, they have to get the consent.
For most of the large-scale mining areas, except siguro yung patented, ano? Di ba every year they have to relinquish it? But it's not the same for Benguet?
When previously the operations under the mineral lease contract, when the RA 7942, the Mining Act of 1995, was promulgated, this company was instructed to either convert their lease contract when it expired into either MPSA, Mineral Profit Sharing System, or FTAA, and the like, or exploration permit and everything. So that happened in Benguet. Upon the cessation of their mineral lease contract, they applied for MPSA. And this area is the one being worked out by the small scale likewise. And when they applied for Minang Bayan, there was a problem.
So, ano lang, no? This is just a side discussion. Kasi nga pag FTAA pala, every year mo yan magre-relinquish ka. But it's not so for MPSA.
It's the same. There's a portion that you have to relinquish a portion upon study.
After your exploration activities.
Yes.
Okay. So, going back now to Itogon, ano naman ang lagay doon sa Itogon? Kasi ito yung, as far as Benguet is concerned, ito yung pinakakilalang, na where our small-scale miners are.
Yes, Itogon. Fortunately, sa Itogon may isang small issue group that was consented by Benguet. So, ito sa Ligma, through the prodding of the then secretary, in that instance, yung nangyari nung disaster noong 2018, then there's advisory to fast track yung declaration of Minang Bayan. Benguet consented on awarding around 64 hectares that covers some of their patented mining claim and their applied APSA. So that lead to the declaration of around 64 hectares in Itogon. And out of that, Ligma applied for 15 hectares. So they're the one first na nabigyan ng small scale mining contract. Yeah.
How much time or what's the duration of this mining contract that are given to small scale?
Normally, each mining contract has a period of 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
Okay.
And for the record, Ligma is on their second period renewal. Yes.
And is there a limit? Like, let's say, 2 years renewable for how many? Ilang beses pwedeng mag-renew?
So far, wala naman sa law. Wala pang
So
definite.
pwedeng lifetime renewal,
But there's a condition that if the board based on the assessment that is not already viable kasi mineral is pag na-exhaust na yung mga resources.
Oh yeah, because it's not renewable.
Yes, it can be relinquished. But as far as the term of renewal, wala pa nang specific one. Unlike yung mineral processing zone, that MPL, I mean, mineral processing license that is covers for 5 years, then you double for another 5 years, but not to exceed 25 years. Yep.
So this mineral processing facility
Yep.
is within the Minahang Bayan.
Minahang Bayan. But then yung new IR of yung 7076 yung currently nalabas dahil sa yung paglabas ng A130 ni Duterte. There's a provision that the local government can declare the mineral processing zone area. Wala namang specific
Walang restrictions that has to be in the
Minahang Bayan.
Minahang Bayan. It's very encouraging that we have several Minahang Bayan that were already declared within the region. We also know that there are still areas that are being mined that are not within the MB, diba?
Yes.
So can they make use of these mineral processing facilities that are within the, let's say, a municipality covered by a certain LGU?
Unfortunately, instruction yan pag if you declare the mineral processing zone and if you have a mineral processing license, there's a provision that you will process the region from mga legal source. So dapat from permitted area likewise.
Yeah, we can see the logic there.
Yes.
Para naman mag-formalize din yung iba,
Yes.
diba? So it's encouraging everybody to formalize because admittedly there is always a benefit in being able to access a licensed mineral processing facility within the zone that is declared by not only by the MGB but also by the LGU. They can declare it as such with approvals from MGB.
From the board.
From the board. All the
There is the regulating body of the small scale is the board.
Yes, okay. Provincial Mining Regulatory Board. So, sa Sagada naman, kasi Sagada and recently kasi medyo our attention has been in Sagada kasi kakaiba yung mining methodology nila. So, I mean, quite different from actually the rest of the country yata.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us more about the case of the
Yes, in Sagada naman. In Sagada naman, the group, the Northern Sagada Barangay Small Scale Mining Association, they were able to apply for the whole declared 10 hectares area. So may contract na yun. Currently, it's on its first renewal, having approved in July 11, 2023.
Okay.
And again to that, they were able to acquire also small yung mineral processing license.
Okay, so ito yung they're very distinct in the sense that they operate mercury free.
Yep.
Yung kanilang processing system is mercury free and they had assistance from a special project which we call Planet Gold.
Yep. Itong ginamit nila because Planet Gold yung natunay na mercury free processing system. So before turning it over, yung association have to get yung license. So this eventually na-release na sa kanya.
Yeah, is it the first in the country?
Yep, it's the first.
Okay. So this is very significant, this particularly because ito mas environment friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ano naman tayo, we are aware that a lot of effort is being put into making our small scale mining more sustainable in the sense of using less harmful chemicals to the environment. Balikan lang natin kung ano yung mga primary minerals. So we are a very mineralized region. We're endowed with a lot of precious metals. Pero ano talaga yung naman ang minimina ng mga small scale miners na?
By law naman, as per my restriction yan, the commodity to be mined by small scale. So far under 7076, small scale are only allowed to mine gold, silver, and chromite. So hindi kasama yung copper. So sa atin, ang minimina ng mga small scale natin sa CAR, mostly is gold, Sa gold naman kasi nakalaan din yung silver pag nandun ng bilhin. Then, of course, di mo kasi you cannot separate yung copper and gold because the mineralization, normally, the ore that's being mined to extract gold, may copper din yan. So, may mga association din, may small scale group for mining copper.
So this is a special provision because you mentioned that the law doesn't say
yes.
copper, it says chromite.
Sa atin mo na panahon chromite, so sa CAR lang. So technically, bawal na small scale to mine copper. So, yun nga, what we are trying to amend, because of course, kailangan i-manage yung small scale mining up. So that's one of the provisions that we want to change. Yes. Dapat may sama rin yung copper to be mined by small scale. In consideration that the ores being mined to produce gold usually may
associated with copper.
Yes.
Yun yata yung hindi nila nakita. No? Pero like any law, kasi may mga room for improvement, di ba? As you implement the law, which is how old is the RA 7076?
RA 76 was 1991 yan. So around 34 years.
Yeah. It's not so new.
Yes.
But nakikita na natin na may pwede pang areas of improvement which should be relevant to the mineralization in a certain area. Wala naman tayong chromite, di ba?
Yes.
So sa ating naman, going back to the number of small scale miners, do you see an increasing trend or kumukonti ba yung ating mga minero sa small-scale mining?
Actually, nagpa-fluctuate yan. Depende kung tumaas yung presyo ng ginto or the metal price natin things. At saka if yung enforcement din, as we all know, dami ko lang ang permit yan. But this enforcement is parang nila.
Yeah, oo.
Variable.
They're also, same situation, I think, with a large scale na parang some operations that have been dormant for a while, but kung tumaas ang metal prices, parang may mas incentive yung mga companies to revive operations.
Yes.
So, ang mga legacy mines natin.
Yeah.
Oo. So, going back now to the challenges, are there specific challenges unique to the small-scale mining operations in Sagada and Huacan? Ano nga ba yung mga challenges naman ng ating mga sikat na, minahang? Mga binagbayan,
May contract. Comparing Sagada in Ichigon, Sagada operation with most of the members being members of the local tribe, you can say na mas effective yung kanila, yung enforcement or yung compliance nila sa rules and regulations. Especially yung locally adopted rules and regulations, because agad they have come up with how to regulate this in small scale.
So it's more like self-regulation, self-impose yung mercury-free nila, di ba?
Yes. Example, yung paggamit nga ng cyanide, they don't allow.
So it's not just mercury,
It's not mercury.
Oh, okay.
Anybody caught using mercury outright na may penalty na 1 million. So
that's a lot.
nobody dares
to violate that.
Yes. So as for observations, Sagada are more organized. May involvement yung community nga sa paggawa ng laws and regulations, sa monitoring, they're part of it. They actively participated in the regulating of this. Sa Itogon naman, since diverse yung mga workers na hirap, so we have to be straight yung how you impose yung monitoring, yung safety, and how to adopt these people.
Siguro intindihin lang natin bakit very diverse yung composition ng ating mga minero sa Itogon. Is it something related to the operations of large scale nung araw? Kasi I from what I understand, nakiminahan din kasi ako So I grew up in one of the operations of Bugnosen, but we were on because timbers were used in the past to protect the walls, I mean the tunnels, diba? So may ano sila, may laging operation sila. So doon kami, hindi sila pinaano.
Yes.
So iba-iba, maraming dayo talaga, diba? So they come from different provinces. A lot of them come from uh, Ifugao actually,
Yes.
diba? Ifugao and Mountain Province din. No? So is that the reason why din
Okay.
sila
Yeah.
yung mga naiwan doon sa community na nung natapos yung small scale mining, ay large scale mining, sila na rin ang
They opted to stay and they operated yung iniwan ng mining company.
Uh-huh.
So that's yun ang nangyari sa Itogon. Usually diverse because some who used to work with the mines, when the mines closed, the Benguet Corporation, they opted to stay and work. That's,
Yeah. So, kaya pala doon sila no? Ka-diverse ang kanilang kultura. Oo. Now, let's go back now naman sa regulatory framework ng Minahang Bayan. Ano? Kasi while we keep hearing about Minahang Bayan system, paano ba ito, how does it function? And what are the main objectives?
Yep. First, siguro, we have to revisit yung how nag-evolve yung mining laws, specifically yung regulating yung small scale. Previously, before, there's no law governing small scale. So, sometime yung PDT 99, this was raised by President Marcos, yun ang unang law, na ang nagbibigyan ng permit is the governor, through the office of the governor. Then, yung bago na lumabas is yung RE 7076. That was in 1991. And sometime during that period, two mining laws were being implemented to regulate this activity. But sometime in 2012, then President Tino Aquino issued yung Executive Order 79, giving favor na supposedly have to be implemented is yung RE 76. So, my instruction na as provided under Section 4, there's an instruction to establish a people's small-scale mining program that is supposedly to be implemented by the DNR Secretary. So, with that, may lumabas na down 34, series of 92, the first implementing rules and regulation of RE 7076. So, this adopted yung Minahang Bayan concept ng program. So, under yung MB framework, yung mga provisions nandito na all small-scale mining operation shall be undertaken only in a declared Minahang Bayan area. So, it provides also the flow process of the requirement of paano may declared yung Minahang Bayan, the open-end areas, na-specify yun yung mga areas that are open and closed for application as Minahang Bayan, and the creation and the functions and rules of the provincial, the city mining regulatory board, which is under the DNR Secretary to implement the Minahang Bayan programs, okay? So it also provides yung blue sheet and yung requirements ng how to apply for a small-scale mining contract, as well as yung mineral processing license, and the rest. Yeah.
So, ano yung mga key regulations that govern small-scale mining operations under the People's Small-Scale Mining Act or RA 7076 and related BNR administrative orders?
Again, yung RA 7076, it defines yung small-scale mining and establish the framework for regulation. Yung mga key aspect nito is yun nga, sabi ko kanina, SSM activity shall be declared as Minahang Bayan first. Yung areas ma-declare muna. Then the group, the small-scale mining group, should be organized into association and or cooperative, and they should be registered to the board. Then they have to apply for a small-scale mining contract and or mineral processing license over the declared Minahang Bayan area. And they have to comply my provision dito kasi as to safety, health, and environment protection, and yung social responsibility in the payment of yung mga taxes and mga royalties.
Compared to those who are not formalized, may balik na because of the framework, the regulatory framework of the Minahang Bayan. Ang accusation kasi ng ating mga, mga hindi nakakaintindi ng mining is ang small scale mining does not really benefit the bigger community, di ba? But with the legal framework, kasi may mga taxes na,
Yes.
mga royalties na, that will go to the bigger
Yes.
community, di ba? Parang may CSR na rin silang sinasabi that goes back to their host
Yes.
communities.
We compare nga sa large scale,
Oo.
yung social development,
Yung SDMP.
SDMP nila,
Oo.
yung equivalent dito is yung community development program.
Okay.
CDMP,
So,
Community Development Management Program.
CDMP.
CDMP.
Oo. So, may ganun din sila. Which is very encouraging to note kasi nga, karamihan, I think, na hindi pa nakakaintindi sa Minahang Bayan concept na yan, they always look at the small-scale mining sector na medyo destructive and non-beneficial to the bigger communities.
Yes.
That clears a lot of things for us. Does the definition align with the actual practices observed on the field? So you've been with the MGB for the longest time. So you mentioned that eto yung mga proseso, eto yung mga requirements. Yung nakikita mo na nasa field, does it align with, with how it is designed?
Very specific nga yung sa definition nga. It should be labor intensive without the use of mga
Heavy
heavy equipment. But yun, nag-evolve na nga yung small scale natin. They are into, so yan din ang something to be amended. So it's being worked out. So yung mga key area rin to be supposedly to be amended. Kasi in reality, our small scale had already leveled up.
Ano rin sila. Yeah, outside of Cordillera,
Yes.
I've seen that
Yes.
Oo, kasi sabi ko nga, laki rin ako sa Minahan. I also had the opportunity to work with the mining industry. And I've seen both the small scale and the large scale operate. And I have seen where it's outside the Cordillera, to be specific.
Yes.
Nakita ko na maraming equipment na ginagamit. Parang ang may semblance pa ng ventilation Kasi nga, may danger ng di ba? Yung poisonous gas inside, and then they can only go in, parang there's a certain level lang na kaya nilang puntahan. But, our small-scale miners are, because also it's very financially rewarding.
Yes.
So, kaya na nilang bumili ng mga, may backhoe na mga yan.
Gensets,
mga gensets. So, marami na silang na mechanized na heavy equipment. Okay? Given that, how does the MGB now ensure that they comply with the safety, health, and environmental standards? Itong ating mga small-scale miners. Siyempre within the Minahang Bayan,
part of the requirement yes, before you award yung contract, they have this as far as safety is concerned, part of the requirement is to come up with a safety program. So, kasama yan. Bago bibigay yung contract, ma-review yung document na yun. Just like the large scale mining companies.
So, meron din safety and health management program.
This is
Siguro may safety officers din sila.
requirement din yan. Because we have established naman for small scale yung those 97-30 small scale mining safety rules and regulations. Yun ang governing laws as far as safety is concerned sa small scale.
Malaking bagay para sa ating mga nakikinig,
Yep.
Safety is a very strong consideration in mining kasi medyo unlike our other industries, medyo mataas ang risk dito kasi sila ay karamihan ay naga-underground, di ba?
Yes.
Kasi small scale din ba yung how do you define those that are into gold panning lang? Are they also considered small scale?
Small scale pa rin.
But karamihan na po kasi sa mga organized groups sa Minahang Bayan na yan, they already do tunneling. Kaya medyo mataas po ang risk doon. Kaya importante po talaga ang safety ng ating mga minero. Sa mga nakikinig sa atin, those are listening to us, they might can you just give us a rundown kung ano yung mga requirements for a small-scale mining association so they can secure SSM contract from the government. Of course, sinabi mo kanina, dapat may Minahang Bayan muna. So,
register.
they have to register. So, ano pa ba? apart from those two major requirements?
Bago maka-apply ng contract, one of the requirements is yung registration sa mining, small scale mining, miners. So under Section 6 of yung new IRR of RE 7076, that is now 22-03, it states that persons undertaking or intending to undertake small scale mining operation in an MB area shall register to the board. So this is subject to the payment of application fee that will be determined by the board, and the submission of pertinent documents to include yung proof of being a Filipino citizen, yung legal age, should not be under 18. Then you must present also your ID, in the government accredited ID whatsoever, or
Valid ID.
valid ID, okay? And you need to have a barangay clearance to prove that you are resident of the area. And one of other requirement is yung certificate of safety training that is being conducted by the MGB.
So, given those requirements, ano naman yung challenges in enforcing the small-scale mining program? Particularly the conditions that all activities must be done within a declared minahambad. Kasi sabi mo, malaking swath of land yan. Sa Sagada, that's 10 hectares. In Itogon, that's 15?
15 hectares of the 64.
So that's quite, medyo may kalakihan, of course, compared to the large scale, that it's smaller. Do you have enough manpower?
That's the challenge ngayon. The challenge of enforcement. Kasi unfair naman sa may mga permit. Around them, may mga walang permit na nag-operate. So the challenge is how to enforce nga. So, with the adamant din yung mga partners natin. So the enforcement really to that.
So going back now to the safety measures, pwede bang can you give us specific safety measures that are implemented and monitored to protect the miners working in these operations? And what are the penalties? Just for our listeners to have an idea.
Yes. As again, I said, kailangan dyan bago may contract, they have to present yung safety health program. May governing Kwentong laws yung DAO 97-30. So this program covers yung mga measures to address yung mga risks underground, which includes yung proper ventilation, ano yung ground support na gagamitin, yung mga personal protective equipment, and yung mga trainings na kailangan. Tsaka yung mga rescue, includes rescue. So on the part naman ng office or the technical working group, upon approval of this, syempre ma-review yan. During operation, it will be regularly monitored. And of course, pag may violation, may mga penalties, may corresponding penalty naman.
Is it usually financial? Fines lang ba?
Fines,
Or what?
Closure of the work area, of course.
Yun ang pinakamabigat. Lahat sila damay, no? Mawalan ng hanap buhay. What about environmental concerns associated to small-scale mining activities? Paano naman ina-address ito ni MGB, particularly yung land degradation and water contamination?
Yes, just like the big mines, for SSM, they are mandated, or they are required to submit their potential environmental impact management program. This is supposedly this will contain yung mga conditions na nakalaan sa ECC. So naman nito yung mga erosion control measures na then undertaken, yung management ng mga waste nila, yung mga waste truck, yung mga reforestation program, and finally yung rehabilitation program, just like sa large scale, yung final mine rehabilitation and decommissioning program. So that's part of the required EIMP before the awarding of the contract.
Okay. So ano pala, no? You mentioned even an ECC.
Yes.
When does the ECC come in? Is it prior to the issuance of the mining contract?
Yes.
Alright. Parang large scale din pala.
Yes.
But hindi pala kahirap.
Sinundan nga ng large scale.
Yeah, oo. So, well, alam naman natin na ano, no? So, ang sa akin lang, in your experience, because naka-13 na tayo, no? Naka-13 na minambayan. Tapos ang
For
four
for
contracts.
contract.
Kaya pala four contracts
For
pa lang
contracts
kasi
pa lang.
medyo may
Yes.
kahirapan yung mga
Yes,
requirements,
yes.
ano. And syempre, ang ating mga, unlike the large-scale mining operations, kasi po yung pagkahanda, like, the potential environment, impact mitigating measures or something, parang sa amin, environmental EPEP,
Yes.
environmental protection enhancement program sa large scale, So they have,
Monitoring
an
team.
equivalent document din pala na
Yes.
ginagawa rin. So this requires a lot of technical support.
Yeah.
So how do they get it? From the four contracts that were awarded,
Yes.
which went through the ECC process and now production of, coming up with those management
No problem.
plans.
That's the challenge really kasi under EU 79, if I may recall, the instruction there is both EMB and MGB should provide technical assistance to this group.
Okay.
So, as far as MGB is concerned, that's why we hired yung mga independent personnel. Tumutulong din sila on this technical
Yeah.
preparations.
Kasi kung yan yan ang pinagkakagastusan ng large scale.
Yes.
Usually they get a team of experts to do that.
Okay.
So, but that's good. It's more, mas friendly yung
So, that's what
for
we,
the small scale miners because the technical expertise will come from the regulating entities like MGB and EMB.
and we are clamoring we are requesting that it should be simplified, the preparation of this document. More so that is, we know naman yung mga small scale group natin, rarely na may technical personnel, coding and hire.
Oo. Medyo challenge yan sa kanila kasi alam naman natin na na bihira sa kanila ang may magandang technical training.
Yes.
So, wow, that's a lot of maganda rin na naintindihan natin ito kasi karamihan po dito, I mean, a lot of our kababayan, particularly in the Cordy, they have pwede may kababayan, kapitbahay na engage or sila mismo
Yes.
are engaged in small scale mining that maganda itong nalalaman nila. So, they know where to go. So, dito po tayo sa regional office ng MGB. May small scale mining unit under anong department? I mean, anong division?
Division sa monitoring. But,
Okay.
under the kasi sa declaration of the PMRB, so there's another group that was created, yung technical working group, comprising personnel from the MGB and the local government from the federal level.
So, hindi diretso sa MGB. It's more the regulatory
Under
boards.
the law is the PMRB. So the role of the MGB is to provide yung secretariat, technical support. Kasi the chair of the board is the director. The director of myself.
Oo. So, dito kasi sa ating, close to home, close to Baguio is ito, na alam natin na nagkaroon ng disaster noong 2018. So, that was a big one and a big blow to the industry, no? So, in practice now, how often are disaster risk assessment conducted?
Initially, the risk assessment is component dyan sa kanil. When you are evaluating the MB application.
Okay.
So you subject
At the onset pala may risk assessment na. Okay.
So, with that, we determine if it's a no-go or go. Pagka hindi pa naman it's not a part of the police, and upon may contract naman is may mga periodic assessment, especially during rainy season, kaya ang ginagawa dyan, may mga advisory na naibibigay. No, huwag mo nang papasok because of the
these
landslide.
Weather conditions because of their susceptibility to landslides. So, balikan naman natin yung mga communities, no? Within the Cordillera, usually yung ating mga minahang bayan, correct me if I'm wrong, Santi, but these are mostly located in indigenous people's areas, no? So ano naman ang papel ng community, the larger communities, particularly the IP communities in the Binahambayan system?
The IPs in the communities are respected. As we note nga na crucial din yung participation. Kasi kasama rin to sa requirement as early during the Binahambayan application. Yung applicant is required to initiate yung posting, yung publication, and radio announcement of the declaration of the area for Binangbayan. And along this line, they need to get certification from the LGU. So, andun na yung involvement nila during sa Binangbayan declaration stuff. For IPs naman, even the IPs also, kasi ang normal procedure yan, upon application, MGB ought to, with the technical description of the area in the application, we furnish, will endorse yung application at sa in CIP, to look into yung IP concern naman, whether it will go to the NCP.
Yeah, if it is within
Ancestral
ancestral domain or ancestral land.
Yes.
So, at the onset pala, very much involved in the IP communities natin. So,
Further, pag sa contract naman,
Mhm.
if you remember yung kanya, and how you come up with yung Community Development Management Program, just like is DMP, kailangan din yung participation ng host in every community.
At saka sila rin mag-identify kung saan gagastusin yung
Yeah.
yung mga manggagaling sa operations.
That's it. Yeah.
So, sa Community Development Management Program. Okay, so very similar
Yes.
talaga sa
Sa next
large
page.
scale.
Sinusundan
So
na.
ano lang, same requirements or similar requirements but on a smaller
Yeah.
scale. Sa conflict resolution, no? Siguro hindi masyado ito sa Sagada, the likes of Sagada, kasi tagaroon yung mga tagaroon yung mga minero din. But I would think that this may be more applicable sa very diverse, na hindi native to the area yung,
Yes.
yung mga miners. So how does MGB handle these conflicts between miners and the local communities?
Yeah, so through dialogues, of course, we initiate yung dialogues if there, tulad nga sa posting, if there's some opposition or what, we initiate yung IEC. And of course, going back pag mag-ECL kasi na pag in place na yan. So, mag-intervene yung MGB during yung pulse, yung mga declaration ng bayan, but pag in place na yan, we, under naman sa kanya, it's under the jurisdiction ng board. So, may mechanism naman naman. And settling dispute yung provincial or the city mining regulatory board. So, whatever complaints, it will be addressed to the board and the board will decide.
Oh, that's good to hear. This is a formal
Yes.
mechanism now that is in place, no? In which case, let's say a community member files a complaint and then also gets feedback on what happens.
Yes.
So, nabibigyan pala, no? Sa large scale kasi, kino-compare na lang natin. There is such thing as the grievance management program nila. Kasi nga malaki yung apektado in their operation. So, yeah, it's also likely or it's possible na mas maraming affected na communities. So, hindi lang iisa, dadalawa ang mga complainants mo. So, medyo malaki. But it's good to know that we have the same, there's a mirror process or mechanism that is in place for small-scale mining. So, ano pa ba yung kailangan nating pag-usapan dito, Mr. Santi? Ano pa yung kailangan nating ipaalam sa ating mga tagapakinig at tagapanood?
So far, okay naman. The challenge pa rin is how will we encourage these others yung mga to be formalized. So we have the problem and the challenge right now is how to fast track yung declaration of Binangbayan. And once declared, how will we encourage naman itong mga operators to apply for small-scale mining contract? As you know, sa dami ng na-declare na Binangbayan, apat lang
ang may kontrata.
That's a challenge.
Pero offhand, ano ba yung benefits apart from being compliant? Kung may license ka, may existing contract ka, ano yung advantages? Siguro ipaalam natin para sila ay mas ma-encourage?
Ang daming
Benefits.
yung as provided by may tulong naman ng insecure yung mga nodes and everything, yung mga may mga dami ng mga projects na dumarating, di ba? Mga research na. One example is this agad, they are recipient of this program by the Chronicle. So in the like, and also they are free to transport their tails.
Yeah.
Kasi this will be called by or transport permit because it's legal ng source. So long as yung designation na pupuntahan nila is legal din. So a lot of fun. And they will be able to sell their product to the BSP. Walang tax excise, is free.
Yeah. So mas malaki, malaki ang kanilang, there's a lot of benefits here. So
Yes.
they can freely transport
Yes.
their products, and they can get a higher price for the for the mineral that they produce. So,
And they can be a recipient of yung mga training programs. So at least their operations will be enhanced to meet yung mga safety standards. And
so narinig niyo po, no? Ang laking beneficial pag na-formalize po tayo that we are able to get the proper permits and proper contracts, which will redound to bigger revenues because since legal na tayo, di mas mataas so ang ang bayaran, at sa Bangko Sentral pala ay walang taxes, At saka yung kanilang price ay based on international current prices, di ba? So usually pag hindi tayo po sa legal nagbebenta, syempre may tawaran dyan, di ba?
Normally, what's being paid is yung go sa silver product nila. So sila na social change.
Okay, oo.
And they have they will be mga new technologies na mas maganda pa.
May access sila, so they have access to not only training, technical assistance from the government and as well as non-government institutions. Meron din silang mga technologies na bago. Kasi from what I'm hearing there's this group of scientists that are working on more benign reagents for the extraction of minerals. No? So kung kayo ay may mga nararapat na lisensya at mga kontrata dyan, mas may access po kayo dyan. No?
And ultimately, it will redound to the benefit of everybody.
Yes.
Kasi the problem there is you have to address first yung safety net, yung mga workers natin, yung mga, how to address yung mga environmental pollution. So you have to come up with your environmental work program, which I believe naman most naman, if they're willing to undertake that. And of course, yung social responsibility to the community. Most of our small-scale group are donating something, but hindi lang hindi nalalabas. So it's just a matter of formalizing and put it in record. Ito yung contribution nila. And they are willing naman to be regulated. So the challenge is, if we can work together, that makagawa tayo na the best way for them to be regulated. And then for them to have a safer work environment. And kasi kung maayos din silang mag-operate, so it fosters positive relations to the community, the larger community. Kasi they are a community in among themselves na like mga minero, it's a community of miners. But they also are part of the larger community. And if they operate within standards and are able to contribute to their community development, talagang aayos din ang pakikitungo to the larger community. So, bago tayo mag-end ng ating discussions, a few last words for our viewers and listeners. For our brothers in the small-scale mining sector, very challenging yung formalization natin. I say natin because I've been part of the small-scale. It's been my work how to regulate nga. So, we should work together and follow the law. I know we are willing to be regulated. So.
Okay, thank you so much, I always call him Santi. He's
Yeah.
Santiago Bugnosen, but among friends he's called Santi or Bogs.
Yeah.
Oo. So thank you so much for today, for sharing your expertise in this area at saka sa bagong insights. Hopefully kayo pong tagapakinig at tagapanood ng ating programang ito ay maraming natutunan ngayong araw. So again, I cannot overemphasize ang mining industry, particularly the small-scale mining sector, ay napaka-vital din sa ating ekonomiya. At marami din pong nagbe-benefit, maliban sa ating mga small-scale miners, ay pati rin yung larger community. Kasi ito ho ay naging kabuhayan na over 100 years, ano? Even prior to the coming in of the large scale. So, it's very embedded in our culture in the Cordillera, ang ating pagmimina. Pero, like anything else, nag-i-evolve po yan. Marami hong mga technology na nagagawa o na-discover, mas marami hong gumaganda ang paraan at mas safe ho ang gusto nating mangyari sa ating mga kapatid at mga kababayan na who are into small-scale mining. So with this, good day everyone. This is your Manang Lucy of Baguio Chronicle. Thank you. Thank you, Santi.
Thank you.
Okay.
Today, we've journeyed into the complex world of small-scale mining, where ancestral traditions meet modern regulations, and where every decision can shape the destiny of a community. As we've heard from Mr. Bugnosen, the work of the Mines and Geosciences Bureau, or MGB, is more than maps and permits. It's about building trust, protecting lives, and ensuring that mining benefits all, not just a few. If this episode helped you understand small-scale mining in a new light, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, our podcast. Leave a comment below or message us your thoughts. Visit our website for more stories, interviews, and updates from the Cordillera and beyond. Join us again in the next episode of our Kwentong Ginto, the Cordillera story, where we will hear the stories from the small-scale miners themselves. Until next time, stay grounded, stay informed, and stay curious.